Hey YouTube, what's up, and welcome to Highway Chronicles. My name's Don. Since this is the first video, um, let me give you a basic rundown of what the channel is going to be about. I'm traveling the country. I plan on staying in, hotels and camping or whatever, with just me and my dog, and that's her sleeping there. Her name's Sky. You can hear her snoring away. Anyway, long story short, I found myself, without a place to stay, but I had a job, and I do DoorDash exclusively, and I've been doing it for almost a year. Um, this before, and I started doing DoorDash for a reason because I had a string of bad jobs where things just didn't, they just didn't. I was lied to, and then. Eventually things just went downhill far enough to where I was never going to dig myself out of a hole. And so I decided I was going to give away and sell everything that I had. And I'm going to travel the country. I'm 52. My daughter's grown. She's on her own now. And, my son's been on his own for a long time. And I have no reason to really want to settle down into a house that I don't want, you know, um, getting stuck in the same cycle that I've hated for years. And I used to be a truck driver until I got injured, and I'm not, I can't really drive a truck professionally anymore. But I still like the idea of being on the road and opportunity to basically go wherever I want, do it whenever I want, and do whatever I want. And like I said, DoorDash gives me that flexibility to do that, and I'm going to take it. I realize it's a gamble, but a lot of things are a gamble. But along the way on these journeys, I'm going to be looking for people to, where it's legal, I'm going to smoke a joint with them, and I'm going to have a conversation with them about things that are totally opposite of what I am. I'll admit right now I'm a conservative, but I'm more libertarian than anything. Basically, I don't care what you're doing. Don't worry about what I'm doing, and just leave me alone. I'll leave you alone. Our lives are. You can do whatever you want. It doesn't change who you are. Your political beliefs don't change whether automatically dictate whether you're an idiot or you're an asshole or whatever. Um, and I've been finding out recently, a lot of people really don't like to go outside their political circle, whether it is politics or not. You like my best friend. He's hopelessly liberal. He's as far. He's not. I'm not gonna say he's as far left as you can get, but he's pretty far left. And I'm more towards the middle, but I kind of lean more towards the right, the far right. Basically, but I believe in God, and he thinks people that believe in God are morons, and but he's still my best friend. He's a hell of a guy. If I ever need anything, all I gotta do is say, "Hey, John," you know, he's like a brother, and same goes for him. If he needs anything and I'm in a position to give it to him, hands down, hands down. I'd help him hide a body. That's how I feel about him. Like I said, the greatest thing is we are on different ends of the political spectrum, and I think a lot of people forget, that politics just don't make you who you are. And they let it really restrict the circles that they keep. And hopefully this channel can show that, hey, I'm willing to sit around a circle, smoke a joint, and have a civil conversation. And this is where the marijuana comes in. I mean, you can't really be in a pissed off mood when you're high, you know, and honestly, I find that I'm more able to concentrate and listen to what somebody is actually saying, not just what they're saying, you know. And a lot of it, I find that I agree with, you know, as though the methods to get there, I totally disagree with, but I do understand, and I can respect their somebody's point of view on certain topics. You know, there's other conversations that, you know, we won't see on this channel, and that's on the topics of abortion. Um, that's a shit pile I don't want to put my foot in, and you know, whatever your beliefs are, they're yours. You know, and I really don't want to get into a lot of the religious debates, you know, because if you're religious, it's deeply ingrained in you. And if you're not religious and you don't understand how somebody can be religious, then there's nothing that I can say that's ever going to make you understand that. And those are the topics that really don't need to be discussed, you know. But whenever it comes to minimum wage, you know, gay marriage, um, you know, as long as you can understand what I'm saying and at least respect me enough to have my own opinion and let me have it without being called an asshole, and I'm willing to extend that courtesy to somebody else as well, you know, because I think that once we actually understand, you know, that although mine are different than yours, I'm not, you know, just because I disagree with you does not mean that I hate you and I'm attacking you. It means I just disagree with you, you know, and it shouldn't be tragic to the point where you feel the need to want to throw insults and get upset because, you know, not everyone agree on anything. And if you really can't discuss the topics, then, you know, we're pretty screwed as a society. I mean, you know, there used to be a time whenever you would read a newspaper and you would get different points of view. Now you either get a leftist newspaper or you get one that's far right, and there's almost nothing in the middle. And you know, and I think that's what's wrong anymore is, you know, both sides want to let the far left or the far right do the talking, and they're in the minority on both. I mean, you know, as far as Democrats, I know the far left, they're in the minority. Same thing with the right wing extremists. They're in the minority, and instead of drowning these people out, they're being handed the megaphone, and they're taking center stage. And you know, and honestly, these people need to be pushed back to the margins and keep them out there, because these are the agitators. These are the ones that are getting you know, the left and the right to actually hate each other and divide us. You know, and you know what's happened. We've become so divided as a country that you know, personally, I don't think we're ever going to get back to where we were before. As far as I'm concerned, we're probably more divided now than we ever were before the '60s. You know, and that's a shame. And they do this because the people the people in power are the ones that are pushing the issues, and you know, and they're handing the microphones and the megaphones to the extremists, and they're agitating both sides. And while they're doing that, they're continuing doing shit, raising your taxes, taking your freedoms while you're not looking. And it's both sides doing it. It really is. It's both sides doing it. You know, I don't care what your opinion on abortion is. You know, honestly, but if you're gonna if you're gonna, and I never thought I would ever see this in the United States, but if you were gonna make a woman actually go to court, to the state Supreme Court of Texas, to have an abortion for a baby that had absolutely zero chance of living within just a few days past birth, and you're going to make her have that baby. I'm sorry, but you're just as bad as the left that want to do partial birth abortions. I mean, you're just as bad to make a woman go through that. And this is why I say I'm more pro-choice than anything. I have my limits on what I believe, but there has to be some leeway, and it has to happen on both sides. And as long as the left, the far left and the far right keep getting the attention, that's never going to happen. And and why they're doing that? I mean, this country's spiraling out of control. And the only way to stop it is for people to understand that we have more in common than we have not in common. Everybody wants to be loved. Everybody wants to have friends. Everybody wants to have a good time. Everybody wants to enjoy their life. And unfortunately, we're not. I don't know about y'all, but for the past couple of years, I haven't been enjoying life too much. I've been too busy busting my ass trying to survive. Just to pay the bills, keep the lights on, keep a roof over my head. And now that I don't have to worry about that, I can't tell you how free I feel. I mean, yeah, scared stiff, but I mean, the car breaks down, what happens? I don't know. That's where I'm at though. But I'm willing to take that chance. I'm willing to take the chance to where I don't have to have somebody, I'm not anchored to a place that I can't afford if and to the point where I'm working 40 hours a week just to pay for that place to stay. I mean, that's how is that free? I mean, how are you free whenever almost at least half of your income goes to put a roof over your head, and probably the other half, unless if you're making a pretty decent amount of money, is probably going to groceries and gas, and that's probably not about anything else after that. So look, and that's the type of life I've had my entire life. I mean, I'm not going to get. I mean, later on, I'll get into some discussions about kind of how I ended up where I am now, both mentally and everything. And it's some, it should be some pretty interesting stories. But after 52 years, the only time I actually really felt like I had any type of freedom was when I was a truck driver. I didn't have. I mean, I had a dispatcher, and we were required to check in every day to just make sure we didn't die in our sleep. You know, but other than that, I didn't really have to. I had a destination, and I had a timeline to get there, and that was it. And was able to go any way I wanted as long as I got there on time. And I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed the scenery. I enjoyed being on the road. And this time I get to do it, and I get to stay in places. I mean, like right now I'm in Pittsburgh. I've been here about a week. I've seen a lot of videos where people whine and cry about how hard life is on doing DoorDash whenever, and I don't fully get it. I mean, last week I started on Thursday. I mean, I got into Pittsburgh on Wednesday, Wednesday night at 7. And by 1 o'clock Thursday afternoon, I was dashing. And, I kind of forgot. I mean, I'm from here. I've been here before. I lived here for quite a while, off and on. And so I kind of remember the areas that you don't want to go into. And unfortunately, I couldn't remember exactly where they were at, or where they lied on DoorDash's map, and which areas, And I know a lot of people, and I just had this discussion with my daughter. I mean, past 7-8 years, I've been in Marquette, and it's completely different. I mean, it is absolutely completely different to Pittsburgh. Whenever I lived in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, I never had to worry about whether or not I was going to get robbed while out at work. I mean, I really didn't. I mean, there's some. Everybody's like, oh yeah, there's some sketchy neighborhoods up there. Yeah, no, there's not. You have neighborhoods where there are probably some, where you have your drug addicts and stuff like that, and everything else. But you really don't have to worry about stepping out of your car and being in the wrong neighborhood or in the middle of something that you should know, some beef on the street, where somebody's going to actually has a really good chance of pulling out a gun and shooting and you getting hit, or they come and shoot you. I mean, it's happened here in Pittsburgh. I mean, especially in Elliott. I mean, Brentwood. I mean, so I kind of knew the areas not to go into that I know that I would not feel comfortable in, and actually, my first day here. Now that I think about it, I ended up in I did you know some of the North Shore and everything else, and that's usually where a lot of the crime is in the city, and just like I said, just on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, just last week. I mean, I made over $500, which has paid for the hotel. I mean, I've been here. Well, I'm going over a week now, and you know, I've stayed in the hotel the entire time. I mean, I'm not like going out to dinner every night. I mean, a lot of the money that I'm making is going either to the hotel or to gas for the car. My car burns a lot of oil, so yeah, I mean, some of it goes to oil. But I'm keeping my head above water, and that was only doing a few hours a night. I mean, I feel lazy yesterday. I mean, my numbers this week are even better. I mean, you figure today's only Thursday, so I've only got 4 days going in, and I took a half a day off yesterday. I got up at 6:30 in the morning, and me and Dashing, and by 10:30, I figured, what, I'm going to go take a nap, and then I realized that whenever I took a nap, that it's probably been, I mean, in between door dashing for a solid 7 days before I started getting ready to move my daughter. Then 4 days of moving and driving. So yeah, I lost 4 days of dashing and everything. Um, you know, but yeah, and yeah, yesterday it just kind of hit me. I laid down, and I realized that I've been really really just struggling for energy for the past week, and I hadn't taken any downtime, and I laid down with the dog, and I realized, hey, you know what, I'm gonna take the rest of the night off, and I'm just gonna sleep, and I did, and up this morning about 8:30, and I started, and I mean, just 4 days now, I've made close to $400, and that's with 23 hours of work, and I still have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and so I mean, I should very easily make $700 this week, and which hopefully is going to give me enough of a financial base to where I've got a pool of money to where I can draw from reserve for the hotel room or whatever expenses I need. And while I'm out working or dashing, I'm banking the rest. And my goal is to be able to bank enough, you know, to where I can pack the car up. And I think my first stop is probably going to be Gettysburg. I'm gonna probably I want to stay in Gettysburg a couple weeks and go to the battlefield. Do some ghost hunting. Enjoy life with my dog and kind of enjoy not being a prisoner to my house or my home. And then and then whenever I get tired of being in Gettysburg, I'll bank up some more money doing the exact same thing I'm doing now. Now I'm planning on working. You know, well, where I'm not giving away the areas I'm dashing in. Where I'm dashing now, um, I can go in early, and I really need to be done probably around 5 o'clock. Because after 5 o'clock, with some of the with one of the bridges being out, it takes over, and it happened yesterday or a couple of days ago where the traffic was so bad that I actually got a contract violation because I was stuck in traffic for a half an hour, and the customer's food was half an hour. But there was absolutely nothing I can do with one of the bridges in Pittsburgh being out. It's a nightmare. I mean, it's an absolute nightmare, and that is exactly why I hate being in cities like this. I mean, it really is. I mean, because the traffic is just it's for somebody like me, being stuck in traffic is right up there with burning in hell. I mean, it drives me insane. I cannot stand to be stuck in traffic. To me, it's wasted money. I mean, because why I'm working, you know, I'm calculating on how fast I need to be moving, and how much I need to be making, and that's how I'm able to make the money that I do. To me, whenever something comes in, hey, it may be a $20 order, and I get a lot of those, especially with the bridge being down. I get a lot of those, and but I'm also having to check the mileage on that. I mean, how far am I going? Is that $20? Is that going to take me an hour to do? Or is it going to take me a half hour to do? Because if it's going to take me a half hour to do it, I'm going to snap that thing up quick and hopefully get another one. And if it takes me an hour to do the other one, hey, I'm cool with that because that's a $30 hour, and then my next one could be a $30 hour. And it kind of worked out with that, and with these new Dasher statuses, you know, especially with the platinum. I am a platinum driver. There it is right there. Past 30 days, or just this month, I've already done 189 dashes, and this is the 25th. So in 25 days, I've done almost 200 dashes, and my completion rating is 96%. My acceptance rating is 78. Like I said, I'm selective about what I take. I mean, if it's not worth my time, I'm not taking it. And I learned that lesson today because I took one that wasn't worth my time, and it actually turned out to be a nightmare type dash where the customer was, let's just say, I will never deliver to her again. Let's just leave it at that. And, so yeah, I mean, you have to be selective about what you take. And as you can tell by my eyes, the Highway Chronicles part, I mean, this being the first video, this is basically just me explaining how I'm gonna do this and what my idea is. And yeah, I'm pretty high right now, and I have to be. I mean, I've been here a week, and Pennsylvania's a medical only state, and it is impossible. I mean, if you can find weed here, it's expensive. I mean, whenever I was in Michigan, I could go to the dispensary and I could buy a 40 milligram infused 1 gram. Actually, I think that was 1.3 gram pre roll for $5 at 40% THC. And, in here, it's almost $20 a gram. So there's a huge difference in price. And, like I said, right now, with getting a feel for the area and how I need to go about attacking my day with DoorDash. I need to be able to understand when the best time to get up and go to work is. I mean, I learned the other day getting up at 6:30 in the morning is pointless. I mean, it was kind of busy, but I found that the sweet spot's about 8:30 in the morning. So yeah, I mean, I can sleep until about 7. Usually I'm up by 5 anyway. So depend, and I do whenever I get up, I start watching to see when the busy times start. And I'm actually making more money here doing breakfast and lunch than I was doing dinner in Marquette. And I like I said, until that bridge gets fixed, I won't be doing dinners. Just it's just not worth doing it. I mean, even if the run's $30, if you're going to be stuck in traffic for an hour and a half getting there, then another half an hour getting back, it's just not worth doing. So, and a lot of the bigger orders I've noticed are shopping orders, and I am a preferred shopper. I do have that status as well, where I'm one of their top shoppers, and I did a lot of shopping runs, a lot of them, and I do prefer them. I mean, they take longer, and sometimes, and I know you can probably make a little bit more money doing, just dashing doing restaurants and stuff like that. But I actually really enjoy the shopping. Um, I'm good at it. I enjoy it. I enjoy dealing with the people, um, and it gets me out of the car. So yeah, so that's pretty much the rundown on the channel. Now the next, hopefully I'm going to be able to post it. I'm going to try to post a video once a week. They're going to be raw and unedited, because especially when I'm in the woods, you know, um, I'm not going to have the opportunity to be able to sit there and do a lot of editing and everything else. Um, so that's why this one is going to, basically what you're seeing right now, this is the way these channels are going to, the rest of these are going to go. And hopefully sometimes, the video will be sideways and there'll be somebody sitting next to me, or, where we're having a discussion. Um, but, you know, I don't know. I think I'm just going to freeform it. I don't want to stick to one certain type of a script, because if I'm not able to do it for a while, then there's not going to be a video posted for a while, and that's just, that you lose subscribers whenever that happens. So, hopefully, I think I'm going to try to do at least 2 videos a month, um, you know, and hopefully my next video is going to be from Gettysburg, where I'm telling you, where I'm high as a kite and getting freaked out by the ghost, and then after that, I honestly, I think, I don't know where I'm going to go after that. I'm still kind of, it's kind of nice not really knowing, I like the idea, I really like Utah and Montana. Utah especially. You get into the canyons down, the eastern part of the state, going, no, I take that back. The southwestern part of the state, the northeastern part of the state is mountainous. Now, now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, even in the southern part, southeast, going into Colorado, you go from mountains into canyons, and then in the mountains. And it is absolutely a beautiful ride. It really is. That is one of the most enjoyable rides I've ever taken in a truck. Was going right up 76 from Utah into Colorado, and going up over Vail Pass. I didn't realize how dangerous that was in a truck. I mean, it's not if you do it right, but if you mess up or your brakes go, you're just another person on the news that wrecked a truck. It's pretty steep territory, and I wasn't able to really just get out and explore the area. But that ride, probably one of the most beautiful in the United States. I mean, going from the mountains into the canyons and into Utah. I mean, the scenery goes from up to down to back up, and it's an exceptional ride. If you ever get the chance to take it, I suggest you do. And I am going to be doing some drone footage. You know, I've been wanting to fly a drone here in Pittsburgh, but it's been just too windy. And honestly, I just haven't had the time. Like I said, I've been trying to get set up to where, you know, I'm making money, I'm keeping a roof over my head, and I'm keeping my dog fed, and keeping her happy. But now that I think I've got a pretty good game plan for Pittsburgh, hopefully within the next week or two, um, I'm actually starting to have free time now towards the end of the evening. So yeah, hopefully within the next week or two, I'm gonna have a video with some drone footage, some pictures of what Marquette was like and what Pittsburgh is like. So stay tuned. Thank you for your time.